to cloud service. And g'day, they call me Forkman, and this is the Forkman and Friends podcast. A podcast, well, a little bit different to my other podcasts that I do, the Forkman and Friends podcast. But the Forkman and Friends podcast is a podcast where I chat to remarkable people doing remarkable things. One of those persons is my guest today. His name is Chris. I've known him for at least about 10 years now. I met him through ERC in Victoria. Welcome, Chris.
Hey, Corey. How's it going, mate? Good to see you.
Not too bad. I was just telling people about the new podcast, how this podcast is going to be different to my other podcast, where I'm chatting to people who do remarkable things for other people, and explaining how we met on camp, Edmund Rice Camps.
Yes. Yeah. Firstly, like I've been watching some of your other shows too. I've seen your ones of Tim Cronin and Will Smith as well. So very pumped to be on here. Absolute honor.
Yeah. No, we haven't had Tim Cronin on. Yeah, but we do talk about him.
It might have been a different show you were doing.
No, I think we do talk about him from time to time.
Ah, there you go. Yeah,
The co-host reckon that Tim Cronin looks like Trent Coxon from the Tigers.
Jeez, that's a bit of a compliment to Trent. I'm sure he'd be happy about that.
I know. I want to try to get them both on the podcast and compare head. We'll do a compare their head.
Absolutely, mate.
Yeah. But anyway, can you tell us about how you got involved with camps? How did it all start for Chris?
I got involved in a bit of a dodgy way when I was at first year uni, which was quite a long time ago now. We had to do a volunteer placement, and I think it worked out to be like 120 hours, or I can't remember the exact amount, but I had to do it for a non-for-profit, and a lot of people were going into some non-for-profit places, maybe twice a week, doing 5-hour shifts and that sort of thing. But me and my mates thought, you know what, like if we do one of these Edmund Rice camps, we could knock off 24 hours each day and clock up some hours in our sleep and, get this whole program done and dusted in 1 week. So we got involved for the wrong reasons. But what is it now? Like, 17 years later, still, I'm probably not as active at the moment, but yeah, definitely keep tabs on it and still part of the family. So then obviously after doing my first camp, I sort of saw the impact that had on some of the families, in particular the mums that were on there. It was a family camp, obviously, that I did, and at the end of the week, you see them in tears, just telling you how amazing the week was, and that they don't normally get to experience that kind of positive, those positive people, and even the kids who are a bit, why are we here at the start of the week, and then right at the end there, they don't want to leave, and that sort of energy, and even just the network of meeting all these new volunteers and that sort of thing. It just keeps you coming back, and it gets very, very addictive. Yeah.
I gotta agree with that one. It did get really addictive. How many camps did you do when you were active?
To be honest, I've lost count. I don't think it's anywhere near what you've done. I see you've put up the half century this year, which is an amazing effort. But to be honest, I couldn't tell you. I'm not sure. I've done a lot, and fortunately, I had 2 stints at it too. Like I started off obviously when I was first in uni, And then I had a bit of a career change where I went back to uni again after working for quite a few years. And over that period, I got to do a lot more camps again. And I think I met yourself and the guys like Tim Cronin and Pete Clough and Kayla Betty and all those sort of people. And I was fortunate enough to get back into it again and add a few more camps to the experience of it all.
That's awesome. And what kept you going back to camp?
I think it's just, as you'd know very well, it's very contagious, and it felt like being on camp puts your own life into perspective a bit as well. Like you're sort of going to work and thinking, oh, how stressful is my life, and but it just becomes a daily grind. And when you take a week off and do a camp, all of a sudden you just re-energize. I mean, it's tiring. By the end of the week, you just want to hit the canvas, but you just have that big energized feeling, like it puts your own life into perspective, and you realize that, you know what, I might be busy and I might be under pressure at work and all that sort of thing, but it's nothing compared to what some of these kids and families go through. And then also that energized feeling of meeting new volunteers and doing a good thing. It really definitely makes your life just that bit more happier by doing them.
And what was I gonna say? I kind of lost my train of thought there.
Now you're too distracted about the Swannies playing today, like the big win on the cards against Cronin's Dons, I reckon.
Yeah, no, I would. Something came up. Actually, I got an email from the Swans. It was like the game day email. I meant to be going to like this video later, but it's like a Zoom meeting with the Sydney Swans. They're running a Q&A with a couple people.
Well,
with Teddy. With Teddy Richard.
Did you get to meet Buddy as well? Like, I'm sure you've met him a few times, yeah?
No, I haven't met him I haven't actually got to meet him yet in person. I would like to, but
mate, you got to get onto that.
I would like to, but every fan day I have been to, I haven't been able to get up too close.
Oh, mate, you need to jump on a team like North, mate. You won't have that problem. Like, we don't have enough supporters to get in the way of you.
Actually, I'm planning on getting Benny Brown to play for the Swans.
Good luck with that.
On AFL Evolution. Too. I'm trying to offer him big money to come play.
Mate, you got to get him on the show too, mate. Like, it's kicking goals. I enjoyed that last episode, the Will Smith one. Like, definitely you're onto a good thing there.
What was I going to say? So, yeah, that's right. So during your second stint, when you and a couple guys got together and were like, "Oh, we should bring trivia back." The Eddie Rice trivia back. Am I correct there?
Yeah. I think a couple of us we had a lot of time on our hands back then, and we thought, look, let's try and do a bit of fundraising and that sort of thing. And we all met at the Crown Buffet, not the exquisite conservatory buffet, but more the cheaper one, which has all the deep fried chicken wings and that sort of thing going. Like, but yeah, we had a few meetings and just sort of planned. I think the first one we did, we only had about 3 months to plan it or something like that. But the main thing was just getting it off the ground and trying to turn it into a perpetual fundraising event, which sort of not only had people tipping money in, but also one where people could walk away and say, well, look, we spent $20 to get in as a donation, but we walked away with a $150 gym membership that that we only paid $50 for. So all up, they're up, leaving. And just a bit of a fun kind of night for everyone, get everyone in, and so it was, and then it just kicked goals after that. And that's a credit to everyone that was involved. Such hardworking people, and it was amazing just to be a part of it.
And it's still going today.
Yeah, that's a good thing, and obviously yourself, you've had an enormous impact on it, and there's so many people that just work tirelessly and just that passion and care about Eddie Rice Camps and making that night the best thing that it can be, and the beauty about it is that it's camp's own product, and it's just another stream of income that they can look forward to each year. And not only that, but you can bring a lot of ex-campers on board that may not be involved as much anymore, but one night of the year where they can sort of get a table together with all their former camp buddies and have a few beers and just have a catch up as well, whilst at the same time spreading the awareness and earning some cash for Eddie Rice Camps.
So, talking about camps, about roles, what roles did you do well on camp? Have you done all of them, or?
I tried to do well. I'm not sure if I did well all the time, but
No, the roles.
For the roles, I tried. I did a group leader role. Obviously, I was a leader. I did for like a normal leader. Then did group leader. I did a captain, and then I tried those, and then I did quite a few camps as a coach. So I'm probably more of a guy who's a bit better in the background. Maybe just I'm not as talented as some of the other people. Oh, I've done kitchen too. But yeah, I'm probably more suited to the kitchen or to maybe a coach type role where you're away from the action a bit, and leave all the sort of coach and group leader stuff to the people with bigger personalities. I think all the entertainers out there, like yourself.
Tell me, you never made an apple crumble with too much flour, did you?
I can't say I ever did that, but we definitely got up to a few other antics and plenty of funny stories that happened over the years. That's for sure. There's never a dull moment, is there?
No, actually, talk about funny stories. Do you have any funny stories from your time on camp?
I've got heaps. I don't know if I can talk about all of them on here. If we want to keep it kid friendly, but what's a good one? We had once I think it was one of the fellow captains on camp lost her phone, and I think she thought maybe one of the kids might have taken it or something like that. And I think she ended up getting, I think it resulted in all the kids having to open their bags up, get things checked. Some of the leaders had to as well, I think. And then I think they ended up finding her phone in the fridge. So she'd accidentally left it in the fridge and thought it might have been stolen. But that definitely created a bit of a flurry at the time. And there was trying to think what else. There was so much stuff happening, even just with the buses and...
Oh, yeah. I have a funny bus story.
Yeah? What is it?
So one of our bus drivers, so we didn't have, so I have a group lead in, my group were on like the Eddie Rice 22-seater bus, and
Yep.
on the first day of camp, the bus got filled up, and that bus wasn't going to be used again until the end of camp because they didn't have enough drivers.
Yep.
And so they put petrol in the bus, but they put the wrong kind of petrol.
Oh,
And
no.
by the last day of camp, when you know Anthony Mitch,
I do, yes. Know him
yeah,
very well.
really good bloke. So Otto, he's a life member too, like yourself,
Yep.
I believe. Yeah,
Yep.
fully life member of yours. He came up on the morning to pick up the bus and to drive it back to Albert Park.
Yep.
And the bus didn't really want to go. It didn't have power going up the hill.
Oh, no.
So we had to pull over on the side of the road coming back from Doxa. The other bus were like already on the highway by the time we had...
So did someone put unleaded inside a diesel bus or something like that?
Yeah.
Because I think the unleaded nozzle's bigger. So the diesel nozzle's bigger. So you can fit, I think, unleaded in a diesel, but you can't put diesel in an unleaded or something like that.
Yeah, they put the wrong petrol in the 22 in the diesel, and
oh no.
so by the
That's
time
exactly what you need, isn't it?
by the time Friday had come around, because the bus hadn't moved for so long, that petrol had gotten in, and the bus didn't want to go. So they had to call the other bus, who were already on the freeway, to turn around and come back.
Oh no.
So they had to then work out who were getting picked up and where, because there were people being dropped up at another place, and put most of us in the other bus, but then some in the car.
That's an absolute howler, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember speaking of buses. There was one occasion where, and you might have been front and center on this camp as well, where I had just got my heavy vehicle license, and I'd never driven a manual in my whole life. I'd always been used to an automatic, so I'd been driving an automatic car for like 10 years. And then now they said to me, Silver, we've got no other drivers. We need you to do this. And I just passed my test for the manual bus. And then so basically I knew what to do, but obviously not having done, I'd barely driven a manual car, not to mention driving a manual bus, and then throwing 20 odd kids in the back as well. So those buses that we were driving were like the gearboxes were absolutely screwed, and it was just so hard to move it into the next gear. You have to really just use all your energy and stuff. And I obviously, on my first day, I think I stalled the bus about 45 times. I mean, I was never in a dangerous situation. It would always be at the lights or something, and I'd stall it or something like that. And then the kids sort of got onto it that, this guy, does he actually know what he's doing up here? And I think they ended up celebrating every time there was a stall. So 45 times on the first day, I had to deal with all the heckling in the back. And then I remember on the second day, I stalled at half the amount. It was about maybe 23 times or something like that. And then from day 3 to the end of camp, I didn't stall it at all. And you should have seen after the first day, all the kids were fighting to get on my bus because they wanted... they wanted, we want to be on the party bus. We want to see Silver stall it. And then everyone goes nuts, when it turned into a big dance floor, every time I stalled it. But yeah, I soon learned that I got the hang of it a bit. And yeah, that's all a part of, I suppose, the learning from camps as well, from a volunteer perspective. But yeah, I'll definitely never forget the feeling of failure, but at least it provided a bit of entertainment for those kids at my expense.
I begin to say, if you get the time to come back over to Australia and get on a camp, we might have to get you to drive the bus so whether you can
I'll definitely we'll have to do a few hours practice beforehand. I think it'll take more than a few hours, maybe a few days. And I can try and get my my magic touch back again.
Stalling the bus again.
I'll just never forget that amazing scent of burnt clutch as well, like just going through the whole bus. Like, yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah. So now you have many friends. You have made many friends. I'm taking it during camps. But
yeah,
that you.
Yep. Oh, man, I've met so many lifelong friends through camps, like including yourself, Corey. So many amazing experiences, and even friends I've caught up. I've caught up with a few Eddie Rice people, even over here in London, and different parts of the world too. Like there's always an Eddie Ricer somewhere in the world if ever you're visiting there. So you can't escape.
Awesome. And that's how people. Where are you living now? You're in London, yeah, or England, somewhere?
Yeah. Well, both. Yeah. So in London, I'm in a place called Hammersmith at the moment. But I always try and aim to kind of live sort of near where I'm working, which I've done for a few of the roles that I've had over here. But at the moment, it doesn't really matter. Like, given everyone's working from home,
Yeah.
You could be living 4 hours away and still have just as much impact. So, I'm in a nice spot here. Nice. I mean, it's a very compact room, but it does me perfectly fine. And I'm probably one of the rare people who actually enjoys the lockdown and doesn't really need, obviously I like talking to my family and friends and that sort of thing, but yeah, I'm kind of keeping myself occupied quite easily, I think.
Are you now the question on everyone lives? Are you getting to watch the football? Like, do you have any like old DVDs of North Melbourne?
Oh man,
The the 1998 grand final.
Oh, 98 was a bad one, mate. Like we lost that.
What year did you win?
We won 96 and 99. 98, I remember I was in tears as a kid back then, as a year 8 kid. I was devastated. Thanks for bringing that one up, Corey.
You're welcome.
But yeah, I have.
We don't talk about 96.
Mate, that was a big year, wasn't it? Yeah, I have been watching a bit of it. Like I got like an app which gives me access to KO Sports, but I cancelled it when the Corona was on because how much of a killer was that? Like no live sport at all around the world.
So you said you cancelled KO?
Yeah, I cancelled it.
I have a question. Did they do what they did to? Did they do to you what they did to me? I cancelled it, but then they charged me.
No, I think you can cancel at any time.
I cancelled, but it mustn't have registered that day and that I had cancelled it, and then my credit card had money taken off it.
Oh no!
I'm like, what the heck? Okay,
I don't want that.
And I was trying to work out who it was, and then I read KO, so I went back into the KO app and realized.
Oh, that's dodgy. You got to watch them, Corey. You can't trust them, that's for sure.
Yeah, but are you getting back into KO now?
I've got to sign up to it. I think the Kangas play today, but I won't. I might have to tune into the score via the AFL page, but I'll definitely be switching the KO on, especially once the NBA is back. I'll need to tune into the AFL and to NBA, but they're on at a horrendous time in London. Like back in Australia, you could, even especially on a weekend, you could, obviously the AFL's on at normal time there, like in the evening, but even NBA, like, the games are on at like 10 a.m., which is a good time. Whereas over here, they start at midnight. So, like by the time you're into like the second game or whatever, it's starting at about 12 a.m.
Yeah, I begin to...
So, yeah, it's not the most friendly hours over here in England, but
I begin to say with the UK, I've been involved lately with another organisation who are based in the UK, in Watford.
Oh yeah, who are they called?
Electric Umbrella.
Ah, nice one.
So they like perform in pubs and stuff, but they are an organisation that... Okay, so I don't want to. I'm trying to find the right word. So the members of the crowd have like learning disabilities or some kind of disability, and they they have a motto. There's no such thing as normal, and so like they have artists working with all of them, teaching them.
That's beautiful.
And writing songs, writing music, writing plays, giving people the opportunity to who wouldn't otherwise have that kind of opportunity to do so. And like during lockdown, they have been doing live Facebook videos and live Zoom sessions. So I've been getting into that.
Oh, mate, that's brilliant.
At 2 o'clock, at 1 o'clock in the morning over here.
That'd be right.
They call me crazy because I'm up at 1 a.m.
Yeah, it's a frightening time difference, isn't it? Like it's ridiculous. Like yeah.
What time are you there now?
It's 20 to 2 a.m. here. Like, but I'm buzzing, mate. I've been looking forward to talking to you all day, mate. It's been ages. Like, it's been ages since we spoke, but I feel like I've been kept in the loop because I've been following you on Facebook and seeing your movements and yeah, you're very busy, obviously, with the little one and with the radio station and with all your work with Edmund Rice Camps. You're definitely a hard man to track down these days. That's for sure.
Yeah. So before we go, do you have any parting advice for other people out there, like that wanting to do something good for people?
Yeah, definitely get in there, have a go. Make sure you always try and get something out of it too, like whether that's like some good memories or if it's if you know you've got a weakness or whatever, to try and hone in on it and whether it's to do with leadership or public speaking or whatever, and use the opportunity to get better at that, and also to make impact on other people, and make sure you get something out of the whole volunteering, which would be, I suppose, like something to look back on and be proud of.
Thank you for joining us on our first episode of Forkman and Friends today, Chris.
Mate, absolute pleasure, mate. I'm pumped, and yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome.